What's up, everybody? Superducks fan here for Mustang Weekly Update number 44 on this Friday. So, I'm always open and honest with you guys, so I just gotta say that I'm kind of feeling a little bummed out recently. Past couple of days, there's been a few different things that have just contributed to me not being in the best of moods, I guess. And so, because of that, I'm not gonna be quite as excited and chipper, I guess, as I normally am. But yeah, so updates on the Mustang. Well, the first thing is the recall service that I took it in for last week was completed and everything looks good, and that's all that I can say as far as that whole thing goes. But I do have some good news though that happened this week, and that is that I received the Cobb lowering springs and anti-sway bars. They were kind enough to send me, and hopefully next week I'll be able to get them put on the car, and that's something that I know a lot of you were suggesting that I needed lowering springs, and I agreed. And so the Cobb springs are great. They're just a 1.1 inch drop in the front and 1 inch in the rear. I'm hoping that it doesn't make the car ride too harsh or anything like that, but I'm pretty confident. Cobb does great stuff. I'm sure they'll be great springs, but I'll be doing a review of those, of course, once I get them put on, and you'll see lots of pictures on Instagram and things like that. So that's one exciting thing to definitely look forward to here. Otherwise, though, I mean, I'm 40 miles away from 21,000 miles, so continuing to roll on the miles here on this car. And yeah, but that's it as far as all the updates on the Mustang goes, guys. So I'll send it back to me at the news desk for this week's news. Right, so for this week's news, the first thing is a few people have been asking me about this whole Volkswagen scandal with their diesels and the emission tests that were done for them. For those of you that don't know, they basically kind of cheated with this software manipulation that made it so that their diesel-powered cars got better fuel economy ratings than they should have. And so there's a bunch of people getting fired, the CEO stepped down, all this crazy stuff is happening, and my take on it is I personally don't care, honestly, mainly because I know people that have owned Volkswagen diesels, and they often get better fuel economy than the numbers even claim. So I think the cars speak for themselves. They're always phenomenal on fuel, and I don't know. To me, it's not that big of a deal, but that's just my take on it. I don't really care too much about it, so I haven't delved deep into the whole issue and researched a whole lot, so I may be fairly ignorant on the matter. But to me, it doesn't seem like that big of a deal. Don't really care. But for some actual sports car and exciting car news here, first is that there's a report here exclusively from Autoblog saying that Mercedes-AMG is developing a new Halo car with a 12-cylinder hybrid powertrain. And so, they always said how the AMG GT was going to be the baby SLS. And the SLS AMG, of course, is gone now. And so we have a baby car that's cheaper and supposed to be like a 911 fighter, but there is no top dog Mercedes supercar anymore. And so they said that they're planning to fix that. It's not going to be in the immediate future, probably at least 3 or 4 years down the road, but they are working on a 12-cylinder engine, an all-new 12-cylinder engine, so it's not even the same one that maybe is used in the Pagani Huayra. They're doing their own separate 12-cylinder engine, and that'll be interesting to see. Obviously, they make the V12s for the Paganis and things like that, so Mercedes-AMG knows how to build a good V12. So it'll be interesting to see what they end up doing here. And of course, with the hybrid power plant and stuff, they're saying it'll probably be the fastest Mercedes ever. Probably will be able to keep up with stuff like the 918 and the LaFerrari and all that kind of stuff. But like I said, several years away, but very cool to hear that. Another exciting supercar kind of thing is they're saying that the final decision for the Toyota and BMW sports car is due by the end of the year. And this whole thing's getting a little confusing because there was, the one rumor that it's going to be the return of the Supra, and then BMW is going to be getting a new Z4 out of the deal. Then we heard some stuff about like an M3 with Toyota badges on it that could be coming over, and now I've been hearing rumors even that Lexus and BMW are working together on a new hypercar or just a Halo supercar that would be a successor to the LFA and also give BMW a car that would slot above, all of their sports cars. So I don't know if these are 3 or 4 different actual projects or if they're all the same one and everyone's just splitting them off into different directions or what's going to happen. But this is saying that we should know by the end of this year whether or not this project or these projects will get the green light. So as of right now, it's still not a given. The awesome Toyota FT1 that was previewed at Detroit 2 years ago. We still don't know if that's actually going to come or not. So that's what they're going to say, by the end of this year, whether or not that stuff's all coming. So that's hopefully, fingers crossed, they make something sporty. That would be awesome. And yeah, hopefully it happens. Speaking of supercars that are coming, though, Ford, how they're building the new GT, and they are very excited about the fact that they will be building it next year, and that it's going to be coming out here for the 2017 model year, which is awesome. They also said that they're making 250 in the first year. But there's a new report here saying that only 100 units are coming to the U.S., and then there's going to be 100 to Europe, and they said like only 20 are coming to the U.K. I'm not sure where those other 50 vanished to, if they're only doing 200 now, or what's going to happen. But again, either way, even if it was 250, it's still very, very limited, and it's a Lamborghini Aventador price tag, but these are going to be way more rare than any Lamborghinis that are below $1 million, and so that's going to be pretty awesome, and just can't wait to finally see these showing up on the streets, if we ever see them, since they'll be so rare. And here's a new glimmer of hope for all of you begging and pleading with Mazda to bring a new RX7 or RX8 out again. Well, there's a report here saying that they have a team of engineers that are working enthusiastically on a new rotary engine, and basically refining the old rotary engine so it has better fuel economy and better performance and all that kind of stuff. And we heard previously that there's like several universities teaming up with Mazda to help with this stuff, but they just said they're working enthusiastically on it. They haven't said what they're going to be doing with the rotary engine. Some people said it could even just be something like to power one of their future EV cars, kind of do like a Chevy Volt kind of deal, where it's just an onboard gasoline engine to power an electric power plant, since that's what everyone's jumping on that bandwagon these days. So it could be something like that. It could be a new sports car, but Mazda, they've been asked every single year, is there a new RX-7 in the works? And they always say, no, there's no new RX car. Every single year, the same executive says the same thing. No, we have no plans to revive either car. Sorry. So I wouldn't get too excited, but the fact that they are enthusiastically working on a rotary engine is exciting news nonetheless. Whatever it's for, still cool to hear that. So, and for some truck news this week, I don't really cover trucks too often, but a bunch of them were just revealed, so I got to cover them. The 2016 Chevrolet Silverado was first unveiled here at the Texas State Fair, of all places. I haven't heard of a car being unveiled there before, but very cool. Very fitting, I suppose, and looks good. We saw some spy shots and a shot or two of the front and things like that, but here we see it in all of its glory. I think it looks pretty good. I still prefer the looks of the Colorado myself. I think it's a cooler looking truck, but this looks very handsome as well, and it has several improvements and all that kind of stuff. But they said it's also going to have the 8-speed automatic transmission that launched last year and all that good stuff. So yeah, looks good to me. But the thing that looks even better to me is the GMC version, which was also unveiled this week. The GMC Sierra Elevation Edition looks really sweet. I love those headlights especially, look really great. Otherwise, similar to the Silverado in many ways. But yeah, so cool to see that officially as well here. And another truck, Ford debuted the 2017 Ford F-Series, so the F250, 350s, and 450s. They said it's up to 350 pounds lighter depending on the trim you get, and they're also saying it has various improvements that increases payload. They said that the frame is stiffer and all this kind of stuff, and a bunch of other truck jargon that I don't really know a whole lot about, to be perfectly honest. But yes, it's improved in every way, I'm sure. It looks good as well, and I think that's a very good looking truck too. Alright, so back to some sporty vehicle news. There were some spy shots this week of the 2017 Maserati Levante, and we have lots of camouflage on it here, but there's been renderings of these posted up, and I mean, even looking at these spy shots, it's very easy to imagine a Maserati Quattroporte front end on there, and then a very similar thing for the rear end. It's just in an SUV shape, and I think that's probably what they're going to end up going with. And so yeah, but it's cool to see that they're still working on that. Hopefully that helps to reinvigorate Maserati and make them a little more profitable. Other stuff, Cadillac is considering an ultra-luxury version of the Escalade that's going to be over $100,000. They say the reason why they're considering this is because all these expensive SUVs are coming out, with Bentley just releasing theirs, and Jaguar having theirs, and Rolls-Royce talking about doing one, and Range Rover, and even a Maybach version of a Mercedes SUV. potentially coming. So there's all these expensive SUVs. All of a sudden, Cadillac wants in on that. And so there's no word as to whether they're going to do an Escalade V, which would be a faster version, maybe throw in the CTS-V motor and make it pretty nice and quick, or if they're going to just make, like a super high-end version. I'm not sure how you do that, but, I feel like a top-of-the-line Escalade is already a pretty nice place to be, but who knows? So cool to see that. Other GM news is that we were teased the 2017 Buick LaCrosse front end, which they're saying is an Avenir-inspired front end. And now the Buick Avenir was the car that debuted at Detroit this past winter and was beautiful looking, won several styling awards even for just how beautiful it was. It was rear-wheel drive, large, and kind of a return to the glorious large rear-wheel drive sedans that these companies were known for back in the day. And so there's no word as to whether or not they're actually making the Avenir, which is what everyone wants, but the Buick LaCrosse, they said is going to have a lot of the same styling cues, which should be good, but the LaCrosse isn't normally a huge vehicle. Also, it's normally front-wheel drive, so not sure, how this is all going to translate, but stay optimistic. I got to say the grille is beautiful, and it's a very good start, and we'll hopefully be seeing the whole thing. I think they said at the 2015 LA Auto Show here in November, so won't have too much longer to wait to see that. Another car that was spied this week was the new Nissan Sentra, which kind of has a very Nissan Altima and Maxima inspired front end. Otherwise, looks pretty much the same, but the funny thing was, I guess the person driving this test vehicle was not happy with the spy photographer and decided to give him the middle finger as well, which is quite amusing. We often see, a lot of these engineer guys get very annoyed at spy photographers, but we don't often see them just giving them the bird, so that's pretty funny to see. And other Nissan news, they officially unveiled what the 2016 Nissan Altima looks like. And it's the same car as before. It's just a mid-cycle refresh, so it's got a new front end, back end, lightly revised interior, and that's about it. But it looks good. Obviously borrowing looks heavily from the Maxima. Obviously, I think this isn't quite as striking as the Maxima, but still looks good for a little bit of a cheaper vehicle. And they said they've increased the fuel economy a little bit as well, so it now gets up to 39 miles per gallon on the highway, which is very impressive. You can still get it with the V6 engine as well if you like more power. They still all come with a CVT transmission, sadly, but that's what they do for the high fuel economy, and that's totally understandable. And SEMA's coming up soon, and so of course we have all these partnerships with manufacturers and tuners, and the first one is just unveiled. Hyundai has shown this 700 horsepower Tucson that's been modified by Bisimoto Engineering, and looks like a custom Tucson. So I don't really go in for high performance lowered SUVs, but that is interesting looking, and certainly an interesting take. That's all I will say. So anyway, that's it for all the news this week, guys. So send back to me in the car. All right, so there's some traffic here, but I'll do a little acceleration here like I always do. Even on the not so great days, this thing still puts a smile on my face. It's one thing that's great about fun cars. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next week. Take care.